to the next segment of these live learning experiences. And this is usually a small survey. We want to take the pulse of the room. We are 200 people here in this room, but we are also broadcasting on YouTube and LinkedIn, I've been told by our team. I would like to give the floor to Federico Batista Poitier, whom you all know as a collaborator of World Enable, and now also in our offices of United Cities and local government. A share asset, I would say. Federico, the floor is yours to lead us through the Mentimeter survey.
All right, everyone. I'm glad to see so many participants here. So as we're going in, please go to menti.com and use the code 357918. And so while people are getting in, there's some words coming up on the screen to the question that what is one word that comes to mind when thinking of the term accessible? Once you get into the Menti, please put in the words that come to mind. We have barriers, universal, inclusion, rights, entitled, freedom. Freedom is big. The larger the word is, the more people put in there. So I like this idea of freedom. We'll just give like another minute or so. But yeah, I think that, yeah, inclusion, equality, freedom is big. So I think one big thing that we know is the more accessible the world is, the more free we are. Inclusion is another. Justice is coming up as well. Innovation I like, because I always say accessibility is innovation. So I guess, yeah, we'll go to the next slide. We also share a briefing after, so you'll see some of these words following in the briefing. All right, so the next is, how effectively do you think accessibility policies have been implemented in your local and regional government? So we have from a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being extremely well implemented and 0 being not implemented at all. All right, so we're in the middle on the lower 2s. Well, maybe not the middle yet, but lower 2s, but maybe getting into the into the center. 2.8. So
this also shows the balance of the type of participants that we have. We have local governments which are really convinced and trying to do their best, but we also have a lot of people that are experiencing and looking at this topic very critically. I think it's quite a fair reflection of how our world looks like in general, right, Federico?
Yeah, exactly. And I like to think of it as the glass half full. You know, we're getting towards that strong implementation. So, so let me go to the next one. So the next one is asking you to choose between 3 of the options that you'll see on your screen. So what are the main challenges to implementing urban accessibility policies and standards? Is it budget constraints, interagency coordination, local government leadership, lack of training and tools to implement accessibility policies, the lack of local data to identify accessibility barriers for marginalized groups, or limited awareness and understanding of accessibility? So we're seeing the bars coming up. The big thing is interesting, you know, I'm always thinking that it's budget, but it looks like it's limited awareness and understanding. So
I also chose limited awareness, if I need to be frank with you, Federico, because this is what I'm finding with our membership. A lot of them would have the political will to do this, and they would try and find the means to do it, but very often they don't know how to approach this. And I even can say that for United Cities and local governments, and that is one of the reasons, not the only reason, why you are with us and we are partnering with World Enable, because I think it has been on our agenda, but there are many things that we just don't understand. So having a greater understanding is very important. I mean, the other columns are important too, I would say, but I am happy this is one of the highest one. It gives me hope.
Yeah. Me as well. I hope for the others too. It's really strong that the more understanding and capacity building we have, the more inclusive and accessible our cities can be. And so the last one is more directed at COVID. So in your opinion, and what you've seen in your cities, what are the COVID-19 emergency response priorities to guarantee equity and autonomy of persons with disabilities and older persons? So we have 4 options: information in accessible formats, digital inclusion, mobility, and social and mental health services. So these are our 4 options that we've seen kind of trending a lot in terms of media and responses that some cities are taking. Looks like social and mental health care services are coming up, of course, information in accessible formats. And I think the aspect of social and mental health care services speaks to a lot of the confinement measures happening, and also limited access to public services to follow these confinement and stay-at-home orders. And of course, the information gap, making sure that we have timely access to information that's important on what's happening, like in Barcelona, on the phases of reopening or confinement.
Thanks, Federico. Is this the last question that you had for us?
Yeah, this is the last question, and thank you all for participating.
Thank you very much. We will make sure that we put this information to good use. I have to confess I was a little bit surprised about not a higher percentage of those last answers to go to digital inclusion, which I think is a very critical aspect. So, but this is why we hold these tiny surveys, because sometimes those answers can surprise us and can guide us to promote a different type of policy and fostering new debates.